All right, guys, what's going on? So in this video, as far as the process is concerned, I kind of covered the importance of, being able to track your data, understanding, hey, there's data in there that's not complete. There's data in there that you've skip traced that is important, that you're only cold calling data you got numbers for, but there's data in there that you didn't get numbers for. That's super important. There's tracking your data over a period of time and understanding, after 3 cold call attempts, what do you do with that, those records? We're going to cover a lot of this later on, but I just wanted to summarize the importance of, using a system, whether it's, internal REISift or not. If you come through this and later on you cancel your account, okay, great, but you're missing out entirely on the point, and I promise you it's going to affect your business long term. So next thing I figured would be the best to cover is just getting data, right? Where can you get data from? I'm not going to cover how to pull lists or anything in this because that's not the point of this, right? You can learn how to pull lists, whether it's on, my personal YouTube or in the masterminds or on YouTube in general. It's all over the place. In the 14-day automated lead gen challenge, we cover how to pull data. So you can check that out on the Academy or on reisift.com or .io. But nevertheless, here is ListSource. ListSource is where I think you should pull your data. I mean, a lot of people, you got PropStream, you got a lot of other places you can get high equity data. But we're going to break down what data is a little bit later. But a couple of things I want to cover right now is high equity is high equity. There's no such thing as an absentee list, and there's no such thing as an owner-occupied list. That is not the list name. That is a subset of what the list is. If it's high equity absentee, it's high equity data. However, the records inside that list are absentee, right? It's just high equity. The core component of why you bought that list is not because they're absentee, it's because they had high equity. So stop calling it high absentee list, okay? That's not what it is. It's a high equity list. You should buy your high equity as just high equity. If you want to filter out and save money, then base it off of, things like the beds and baths that are the, 3 beds, 2 baths, or whatever is, popular in your market. Base it off of that. Base it off of the hottest zip code. Do not split versus absentee or owner occupied when buying your data, because REISift does that for you by filtering by the absentee filter. The other really important part of that is because, if someone's owner occupied and tax delinquent, for example, they have a lot more to lose than someone who's absentee and tax delinquent, because if they don't pay their taxes, they end up losing their home that they're living in. So think about it instead of just thinking like, oh, they're absentee, so, they're going to have to sell their house because, they're not living in it and it's easier. Get your head out the gutter there, because all you're thinking about is you and how you can make money, and not about where the actual problem resides. So think about it clearly. And you have no leg to stand on, because unless you're actively doing this business right now in marketing, which, I hope you are, but if you don't have a KPI or a metric to base off of, then why are you just aimlessly saying, oh, I'm just going to buy absentee data, when you have no metric to actually go against? Unless there's someone literally in your market that's telling you what they're making money from, you have literally nothing to say. So, ListSource is the best, in my opinion, just because it's simple, it's straightforward, it's not complicated. High equity data doesn't change. If I make a payment on my house this month, next month I have maybe $300 more equity. Does that mean you're any closer to buying this cash from me? I don't think so, right? But in a year from now, there's going to be a period or an amount of people, a good enough handful of people, that have now entered into my criteria. They've paid their house down for the last, 5 years or 4 years and 1 month, and now in 9 months from now, they've paid enough payments to now they just entered from that 45% equity down into, or that, 30% equity up into that 40% equity, or whatever it is, right? So you don't need high equity data very often. Maybe once a year. Depending on your market, maybe you have more people entering into your criteria every month or every 6 months or whatever, but you don't need to be buying it every month. What you do need to be buying every month, and what you do need to be gathering weekly, is your vexation data. The data that, is actually why people would be selling their house, because of a probate problem, a tax delinquent problem, evictions, vacancies. These types of things are why people sell their house. You still want to market to them, and the other thing, we'll cover this in the buckets and everything else later on, but the important thing that you understand is that you are generally making decisions based off of the void that you're seeing out on the internet and affiliates and all this other nonsense. Don't make business decisions based off of arrogance. Make it based off of what you understand and what you know. If you don't have anything to base it off of, then just narrow in and focus in front of you. All right? List source, get a high equity list and get a base KPI from it, and then move on. And we're going to cover that more when we cover the data buckets. But list source where you get high equity. If you want some niche data, I think PropStream is a great place to get some of the niche data from. I don't think you should get vacancy data from PropStream because REISift checks for vacancy when you upload data. I think you should get more vexations or more high equity because it's going to get checked instantly when you upload it for vacancy. But PropStream is good for, places where if you need MLS access, and it's you can't get it very easily. I still think having your own MLS access is better. I think that people can make offers very easily on Zillow. In fact, in the academy.reisift.io, you can find it under the resources tab on the homepage. I cover how to do deal analysis right there with Zillow, but there's some scenarios where Zillow is not going to work because they don't see the sales of properties. You need the MLS. So network with an agent. And also, while you're at it, have that agent make offers for you on the MLS. There's tons of things you can do there, but we're not going to get into that now. Okay, so PropStream is good for some of the niche data. In every case possible, I don't care what it is, in every single case possible, I think that you should be gathering your own direct to county data. Just like we go direct to seller to get really good deals, right? By going directly to your county, you're able to actually get the accurate the accurate information, right? So, for example, high equity data, you can actually pull this straight from your county if you really wanted to. In fact, if you go to the REISift YouTube channel and watch the case studies in there, one of the individuals, I forget the name of the video, but they actually pull it. They're down in Tampa. They pull all the Tampa property records and they just clean up that data and they use that as their high equity data. So you can do that. Just go to search, property records, whatever your county is, and then property records. And then you can literally just go right to the property appraiser's website, and we can, do a sales list. We can do these different things and we can go back, sale date 7 years ago or whatever we want to do. We can look for different things. We can search by property type. Okay, we can do so much here inside of our county records website. So definitely check that out. Next place for tax delinquent data, just search whatever county you have and search tax collector. Okay, if you come into the tax collector's website, if I come to the official tax collector site, I can find somewhere on here where I can actually pay property taxes. Here we go. Generally, when you click there, there's going to be a place for you. Here you go, reports. There's going to be a place for you to pull reports, which is generally where you can actually download your real estate tax delinquent list. This is an example in my market. Your market's going to differ. In this scenario, I actually have to count, even though they have this here, I still have to pull this directly from my county in here. But if I were to go to Walton counties, you can see, let's see. If I were to go to Walton counties, I can go to property tax here. Let's see, pay taxes online. And in Walton County, I can click on reports. What you can see is that I actually can come in here. And once it loads, some slow internet right now. You can see I have all these different options, one of them being delinquent taxes. Okay, so check that out in your county. If you can't download them from online, what you want to do is you want to scroll down, and every single government website, they have someone that you can contact with a contact us right here. Contact them from here. Try and call them. Physically go in there and ask them, for the information that you need. Actually, this is the county property appraisers, not the tax delinquent peoples. So let's click back on home here. Call us right here. Boom. I would call them. I would email them. I'm sure there's an email somewhere on here. Contact them. Just be resourceful. That's part of being a business owner, being resourceful. So I think that's pretty much it. Just understand that you got to get data. Data is the forefront. It's the necessary evil when it comes to being in real estate. It is the one thing that we need to do direct to homeowner marketing. Now, there's other things you can do, like obviously networking and making yourself known and all this other stuff. But from our Facebook ads to our cold calling to our direct mail, all that revolves around having consumer data. So if it's the number one thing in your business that makes sure that you can actually produce money and you can become profitable, why would you skimp on it? Why would you try and find the cheapest thing here or the cheapest thing there? Why would you just call through it once and then throw it away? That's your biggest asset. That's like a gold miner throwing away their pickaxe. That's just stupid. That's stupid, right? And instead of having a pickaxe, REISift and being in a community is like equivalent to having a bulldozer. All right? So, if you have any questions, of course, hit me up in the Facebook group. You should be in that by now if you followed the instructions up above in the previous videos. This is some of the places you can get data from. I'm not going to teach you how to pull all these different lists in this here, but start with one, high equity. Upload it to REISift, and you're going to have the vacancies. We're going to cover that in the data buckets below and how you can get quickest success in this business by doing marketing the smart way. So see you guys in the next video. Thanks.